now going up against Twisted Minds is the question.
I think there were two problems. One, if you're playing Rule 1, who seems to be on something this last couple of months. They're playing spectacular. The other problem is that they didn't look like a team. It looked like 3 individual players who are, yes, they're good, but have little to no teamwork going for them. And you cannot do that to Twisted Minds, who have seen against Falcons, is playing so spectacularly well, doing such insane things like this.
It's a team at their absolute lowest against a team on the highest of all highs. Infinity in the blue, Twisted Minds in the orange for a place in the grand final. Loose ball, Venom. Oh, a little touch and away it goes from underneath the crossbar. Infinity knocking on the door, hits the backboard, and there's Venom to take it to safety.
I feel like Twisted Minds just got away with something they should not have right there, but they're still alive with 0-0 on the clock. And right away from the get-go, you can tell that it's going to be a speedy match, quite quick. And maybe it's going to take a bit for Twisted Minds to get used to that, because let's be honest here, and we've seen it before, people can get tired in these types of days. After a game 7 like that against Falcons, we could see that Twisted Minds is going to be tired coming into this match.
It is the one silver lining for Infinity. They've spent so long on the sidelines because their series was so quick. The following one was so long. They've had time to readjust. Nerves, lack of courage, all of those regrets from that past series. They've got to go out the system because Suspects got the go-ahead goal and beautiful accuracy once again.
Regrets 0, goals 1. Infinity leading this game 1 against Twisted Minds. That's what you like to see from Infinity. And before, we were worried. Are we going to see the same Infinity? Then yes, if yes, then we're going to see just a sweep coming out from Twisted Minds because they're not going to be able to fight it. But no, we see a different Infinity, a stronger Infinity, a speedier Infinity.
Rocket League Championship Series, it's never that simple, folks. These two teams have faced each other once before. Different rosters, they've both got new folks on them. Veloce and Infinity were their names previously. 3-1 was the scoreline in favor of Veloce. Now Twisted Minds, now with a second attack, running through, missing SMW. Maybe run out of talent at the wrong time. Hatem, the go-ahead run from Suspect, hits the backboard once again.
Leaves just one person back in defense, but Vampires does get a good touch away. And another one, even with 0 boost, he still can get his touches. SMW looking for a pass, easily read by Suspect. Well done on him, as Hatem brings it on down, but still SMW clear coming forward. Venom under control, looking for one touch, can't get the flip reset past Vampires, but it's still not in a safe position for Infinity. They have to be careful.
Very, very scary moment here. Drops down, but no one willing to send it for Twisted Minds. Halftime comes and goes. Infinity still 1-0, and setting up the barricades are Infinity. Bumps about. SMW goes for the top post. Snuffed. Senzo goes sideways. Misses that second touch. Readjusts. Not getting there fast enough. Suspect up. SMW over the top of him. Forward. Gets the challenge with no boost, goes sideways. Here's Senzo. Twisted Minds recycling this attack really smartly, but still no goal to show for it.
Nothing to show and nothing to gain so far as Infinity holding on strong in defense. They're not letting up. They're not letting anything go wrong. Suspect, even with a bit of a heavy first touch, still gets a second touch in his favor. Still keeping the ball close to him as Hatem looking to progress this ball back forth once again. The miss touch coming through. Senzo has a bit of time, but the miss from Suspect.
You know, I'm glad I didn't say, oh, you know what I've been really impressed by that I wasn't in that first series that I casted today? Infinity's defense looking a lot better. How Suspect turns away from a challenge which he simply had to make. The only excuse that I can find is that there was no communication and he wasn't aware that his teammate was being bumped in the corner, in which case, why on earth didn't he know that his teammate was being...
Pierce looking to get that ball right on back, getting the 2 on back, but not this time around. Has to be a bit more patient as the defense from Twisted Minds. They control SMW, the one that has been dangerous. The goal is a bit open right here. Senzo, quick shot from Pierce, showing that yes, Infinity is able to defend.
1 minute and change left. Tie game. Twisted Minds, they've got themselves a game on their hands, perhaps more than they were expecting if they were watching that first series of the day. Meanwhile, Rule 1 watching on with glee. They'll be feeling pretty good about their chances to come away with the grand final dub once everything is said and done this evening. Just for those who are interested in the rankings points, of course, with Falcons finishing 4th. That is an 11-point deficit if Rule 1 are to indeed convert that grand final victory. Still a long way to go yet to find out their opponents. 30 seconds away from a potential opening OT.
And with only one spot going to the major, you can see how much those points are actually going to mean in the long run. But for right now, the points are still not secured, and Twisted Minds and Infinity are both looking at Rule 1 to get revenge. Senzo not being able to do much this time.
Atom, the pop-up. Forward he goes. SMW rotates the car, but doesn't get the challenge quite nice. Got teammates ready to deal with it, but still hits the backboard. Twisted Minds on the back foot indeed, as Suspect turns around. Senzo, the tee up for Hatem, finds his way through to the corner. Is there anyone infield ready to shoot? There is, but Venom gets there before Vampires, and it is overtime at 1-1.
Like, we haven't seen enough overtimes today. We see one again in game number 1, but it could end quite quickly if Senzo is quicker than Vampires, but he was not. Vampires getting the ball away. Touch was quite well in his favor, but here comes SMW, the man of the hour against Falcons, not being able to do much this series so far. Maybe Infinity has watched him against Falcons. It's like, yeah, no, we cannot give that man time.
Oh, Suspect, and it's Suspect again! Prime Suspect, you might call him. 2 goals scored for Infinity, both of them through the same participant. And once again, I mean, we were hyping up Hatem's shot participation pre-game, pre-day. It's all about Suspect in game number 1. Infinity take it.
Suspect making up for his error in defense, getting himself that 2 goals. And that means that they are taking the lead right here. Something they were not able to do at all against Rule 1. A
bizarre stat board here. Bizarre. I have difficulty reading it. 9 shots on target for Twisted Minds. They come away with 1 goal. Little bit wasteful, maybe. Strange to think that the 1 goal was a complete gift via Suspect. And yet Infinity on the other side, 5 shots on target, all coming through Suspect. And yeah, getting 2 out of those 5 shots on target. A really good day at the office. I don't know what exactly the change in dynamic is necessarily. Clearly, they're still not talking to each other as much as I would personally like to see. But when they move forward, it seems like they have a little bit more rigidity in the midfield. Would that be fair to say?
They do, but I think in general, it's also a bit of Twisted Mind still having to adapt to them. Because, of course, you played Falcons just before. Falcons that was being very defensive, very patient, very relaxed, where every ball was being controlled. Where on the other end, Infinity is just fine booming the ball away, getting it back forth, just progressing the ball back forth once again with those big booming clears. That's something you have to change for. You have to adapt. You have to take your time to slowly change your way to that. And I think we are going to see Twisted Mind just adapt as this series progresses. But how quickly they will do that, that is the waiting point.
Rule 1 was unabatedly aggressive. They aggressive was their mantra in that first series of the day, and they caught out they caught out Infinity time and time again, just purely by the pace of the play that they were putting on. In Infinity, they came out the gates like a raging bull. They got that go-ahead goal, and to be fair, it's the proactiveness which I really enjoyed seeing from them throughout the series. Despite the mistakes in that game, they were still able to do something more. And Senzo trying to get a first goal on the board for Twisted Minds. Not on this occasion, gives it up to Suspect here as SMW. Taken out is Venom, but SMW is going to retain possession and move on into the blue half.
Vampires just hitting it into the wall, just wants none of it, and that's exactly what I said before. The comfortability from Infinity, just bang the ball away, just clear it gone, just get it away from your own half. That is the big difference between them and Falcons, and that is something Twisted Mind still has not gotten comfortable with.
So close to an opener there, Hatem, Venom pop-up. Senzo, the fake. SMW not the greatest starting position. Wins the upcoming challenge through the corner. But no one really ready to receive his Venom on the scene, and despite all the time in the world, gets his shot away, and there is the go-ahead goal.
And this is what we want to see coming out of Twisted Minds with Suspect just not challenging this ball at all. But that is some prime placement coming out from Twisted Minds, right on the crossbar, straight on down.
Poisonous, toxic, and a 1-0 lead, much needed for a Twisted Mind squad. As Spoos has rightly said, still adapting to the specific needs and wants of this Affinity squad. SMW, the save to the side, and Venom to transition out. Suspect picks this up and loses out, but there's a bit too much mustard on that ball. Gonna head cross field. And Senzo, snuffed by Vampires, sets up nicely for SMW though, goes for the second touch, double commit, Venom 2-0.
You could see that from a mile away. It was a good setup by SMW, but the double commit coming out of this and the touch not being clear. This is what we saw from Infinity against Rule 1 as well. Bad clears, not the best of touches, and double commit. You cannot be doing that against Twisted Minds, who, like I said, are going to be adapting to you, are going to be changing against you as Senso. Looking to set himself up this time around, but Suspect does get control, does slow it down. But is that the right option? Is that the way to go? As he does progress it forward, Vampires is there to help out, but Senso easily under control.
Gets the pinch, goes straight into the front bumper of Suspect. He's been a great scorer and needed Venom to save it there, though it was straight at him in the end. Settles on the midfield line, where it finds the property of SMW, I should say, Suspect, to Hatem. Not able to transition out as convincingly as they would like, but at least it ends up with blue control. Vampires, no boost, and a dream moving forward, but not through SMW. A little bit ponderous, but actually does really well. Oh, a complete misplay there from Hatem as well. And Vampires, gotta say, what on earth is Infinity doing? Vampires, he's not even cleaning up the mess. It was a disaster waiting to happen.
Well, the disaster has not happened just yet. Hatem is trying to create a disaster over on the other side of the field, and this ball from Vampires does find the back of the net. Chaos has been created, and Infinity is the ruler of it.
Confounding as a team. It's still as wasteful and as all over the place in defense as I remember them from 2 series ago. But it's down the other side of the pitch where we're starting to see the Infinity of day 1 and day 2 way better in front of net. Much better chance creation, and as if on cue, Hatem with number 2.
Where has this come from Infinity? Venom, yes, a bad touch, but Suspect was expecting it almost. And then, I mean, the placement is on point, getting good speed behind it as well. No one was getting to it. You saw 2 people going for it as well. What has happened? Infinity is playing so insanely weird. Where at one time, I feel like they're playing like they are supposed to be in the top 4 even. And then other times, they're playing like they're supposed to be in the finals.
They're so bad, yet they're so good. Yet they're so bad. Yet they're so good. Twisted Minds must be super frustrated as well to go 2-0 up and to concede such quick goals back to back. Double commit to Infinity, preying upon the mistakes that are creeping into Twisted Minds' play, defensively speaking at least. Hatem steps in. It's a crisscross melee in the final third, and it's working in Infinity's favor.
An opponent that you can read is easier to deal with than an opponent you cannot read. And it's the true words right here for Infinity, because they're so insanely hard to read because you don't know what's going on at most of these times. Senso does know what he has to do though, shot on target, but SMW has to try again because the shots are not strong enough.
Hatem through the corner. Okay, Senzo at least picks it up before Suspect was on the scene. Vampires goes central, runs out of boost. Venom, free shot opportunity, goes to the backboard instead. Flick away. SMW, demo, and Suspect in the right place to pick this one up, hogging the boost, but no boost to be found at this moment in time. Hatem throws it away, and here's Venom to Senzo round the corner, and Hatem misses. Oh, no way! Gets the save, but Senzo, quick feet, quick! 3-2 Twisted Minds.
This is a beautiful passing play from Venom to Senzo, and then SMW with the fake trying to bait on Hatem. It was all smart, but it's just a bit unlucky for Infinity. Not getting away from that and having to deal with being behind once again. But we've seen them crawl back. We've seen them claw themselves back into this game. Hatem trying to do just that. Tries to do it solo, tries to get past, but SMW not allowing any attempts to get past.
Oh, massive overcommit from Suspect. It's an open net. Senzo doesn't quite control it correctly, and Vampir's back in the nick of time. Oh, a sharp shot from SMW there, a 4th, and this game is truly put to bed. As an interesting meeting in the middle there, sees the ball goes crossfield once more, Venom towards net, Infinity with time on the table, but it is quickly running out.
Here's trying to bring it back forward once again, but blocked off by Senso. Hatem taking it high, but not under control. That's not what you like to see from them, as Vampires not being able to do anything with either. This most just ending up in no man's land, and the flaws from Infinity, they show themselves once again. It generally feels like I'm on a roller coaster with these people.
Suspect has to take control of that situation. If you're coming in at a bad angle, all right, it happens to all of us. hit it away. Just trying and put a bit of welly behind it, and you're not going to find yourself in a situation where you are now 2 goals down, where the game has been sewn up, and where Twisted Minds has somehow managed to figure out the puzzle and get themselves a series point on the board. There is going to be no third for Infinity. They were threatening it there, but Spooks, difficult to read the ways of the waves that this series is trying to progress here. Twisted Minds won, but there's not much more that you could say about it.
Like I said, it's like I'm on a roller coaster. It goes up, it goes down, it goes left, it goes right. There may be a looping every so often. You don't know, because that's what I feel like with Infinity. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they're doing at sometimes, because at moments they're playing like one of the best teams I've seen in MENA, and at other moments I feel like they're just a bunch of mess, a solo queue team that's just got together at random, a 6-man rank B+ team that pressed exclamation mark Q to check out what they can do with, because it just doesn't feel like a team at times.
Shout out, by the way, to SNW and Senzo with a rare double MVP award. Exactly the same amount of points scored. Wow. You do not see that very often. I feel like after 6 games of seeing Infinity, I just need to sign up to therapy again, quite frankly. Because, I mean...
Can you take me with you?
Trying to figure out how a team went from being so good and beating Falcons to being so bad against Rule 1, and then seeing shoots of hope with one major mistake that doesn't cost them in game number 1 to then so many more mistakes in game number 2.
I have the list.
You have the list? Oh, perfect.
I have the explanations. It's right here.
Lovely.
Right here. This is the explanation.
There's nothing.
There's nothing, because there is no explanation.
No explanation.
I don't know. And neither does probably Infinity, because they must be annoyed as well at this right now. It must be annoying to know that you can play at such a high caliber, but you're just always up and down non-stop with the playstyle.
At this point, it's not about who, it's not about where, it's about why. The question of the day as we head into game number 3. And Infinity, with the opening looks, falls down, SNW to the side, a slight hint of a double commit, but Venom readjusts, throws it corner bound once more, up it goes. And Senzo quick to the mark, downfield, and Hatem intercepts.
SNW looking to slow things down right here, and that was the correct decision as Vampires was trying to be quick with 0 boost. SNW now, what can you do? Bring it into the middle, but blocked off by Hatem. Saw it coming from a mile away, knew what was going on as Venom. Just a tiny bit quicker, and this could be dangerous if there's a follow-up, and the follow-up is there, Senzo! Quicker than anyone else, but where is the challenge out of Infinity?
Got to ask, even with no challenge, how on earth does Hatem not save this?
Backflip.
Oh, it's a feels bad backflip. Oh, the poor guy has certainly had some spotlight shone on him many moments where he's been last in net. It's like a rabbit in the headlights, and he's run over once again. Twisted Minds with an early lead despite the early pressure coming through Infinity, and if that isn't the story of their day so far, I don't know what is.
I mean, Hatem not getting anything out of that. It is Vampires now looking for some control, but just makes it away. Knows he has 0 boost, but actually it's up to Suspect, who I did not even see on my camera. But it doesn't lead to anything, as Twisted Minds takes the control, brings it back towards the other half, as you see SMW looking for a pass into the middle, not connecting to anyone, connecting to the enemy side though. Infinity was almost a counterattack, but was nothing dangerous.
Every time Infinity go forward, there's a chance that they will score. Every time that Twisted Minds go forward, you almost expect them to score, or you expect Infinity to score on their own net. Such is the dichotomy of this particular team and the vibes that they share with us today. Demo on the backboard, and Hatem looking for a way out here. SMW, and Suspect clears.
A very fancy wording coming out from Relic in a not so fancy boxing fight, it seems like, as both these teams are just really just trying to full on go forward, not holding back their punches at all. Sometimes it goes for you, sometimes it goes against you, as this ball does go in favor of Infinity, but not for long, as Venom can just stay close to it. Nothing being created from it, because nothing dangerous comes out of that challenge. There's never a second man waiting in the middle.
Is SMW. That's going to fall back to Senzo. Shot on target. Massive melee in the middle, in the box. But nothing comes of it once again. Twisted Minds don't need anything to come of it once again. We hit half-time. Still 1-0 Spooks. They would like that second goal just for a bit of security. Not on this occasion. Hatem's there to clean up.
What you saw right there is what I want to see more from Twisted Minds. Be fine to be in defense for a bit longer, but just non-stop expect to go just for a big booming shot on target. Because, well, quite honestly, Infinity's defense has not looked solid. And they've messed up quite a couple of times by now. So if you just shoot on target every so often, you're gonna probably get a goal 1 out of those 10 shots. And that's more than enough to win in these games.
Suspect. And SNW off his own backboard, turns around, gets the 100 boost. Vampires goes centrally. And there's Senzo to receive. Down from the heavens. He sees Venom in field, wins one challenge, brushes it off, but here's Suspect, who flies into non-existence, it seems. A bizarre breakdown of an attacking play that was showing promise, still goes forward. Suspect into the front bumper of Senzo. Demo opens up the play here for Twisted Minds to go forward. Vampires completely whiffs, but there's Suspect sideways, but it's straight back into the hands of Twisted Minds.
A whiff or a fake? We shall never know, as the shot was on target, but safe and put to the side. Senzo not getting the best of touches from Pierce. It's good up to them, but they just always require someone else. It feels like Infinity is just trying to pass around, be like, no, you take it, no, you take it, no, you take this shot, no, you take the shot.
Lack of responsibility. Wonder where I've heard that before. Oh yes, myself. And speaking of, as if on cue, Venom with an open net, he strolls in, looks around like John Travolta, and he's like, okay.
Put on the glasses, looking cool, looking forward, the wind flowing through his hair, knowing that's my goal. 2-0 lead, 1 minute left on the clock. Infinity, what can you bring us? What can you do? Well, if it's anything we have to see from what we've seen so far, not much.
2 goals to find. Infinity still has time to do it, but it's been very much a feather duster trying to break through a brick wall at the moment. That's a nice demo, and we did see some good demo plays from Infinity against Rule 1. Certainly suits them nicely, and this Twisted Mind squad, much better on the defense, I would say, in terms of their mindset than Rule 1, who do like to play aggressively up to the midfield line. But time is a fickle mistress, and with just 30 seconds left on the clock now, Infinity looking like they're going to be sinking to a second consecutive game loss.
So good hit forward once again. 20 seconds left on the clock. I mean, we know that Infinity is not gonna get this game going anymore. This one is done, dusted. It's gonna be a 2-1 lead for Twisted Minds. But it just feels like Twisted Minds has used their brain, knows what's going on, and knows how to deal with Infinity, doing pretty much what I said. Getting some of those big booming shots on target and then just seeing what you can do, because the faults are gonna be coming, the mistakes are gonna be coming. And on the other hand, Infinity, they must be calling for a timeout right now, because you cannot let this go any longer like this.
Yeah, it's very much transformed from a series where, despite their flaws, Infinity were still really threatening in the final third, to their ambitions have been shackled. Whenever you post less than 5 shots in a game, that is room to worry. Twisted Minds doubling that amount up to 10. Every single player getting involved in a positive way. Infinity, it seems like every single player getting involved in a negative way. Losing possession, a feels bad backflip, a loose pass. Twisted Minds didn't really have to play out of their skin to win this one.
You want to know what's the worst thing? I don't see a call for timeout. They want to continue.
I don't mind for one more game. I don't mind for one more
game. I do
game.
mind.
Oh, you do mind? Okay, fair. We'll agree to disagree.
Okay, let me put it in this perspective for you, Relic. Because as a coach, if you let this go on for any longer, you don't have time to adapt. You don't have time to change your strategy coming into the next match. So that means that Infinity is pretty much gambling on already having figured things out within 60 seconds, or that they can figure it out after this game and just live life on the edge, I guess.
I think it would make more sense if it was the dominating run that we saw from Rule 1. I think once you lose 2 in a row against that level of opposition, it is very much time to rethink the game plan. But as much as it was a very passive display from Infinity, and despite the mistakes still being there from Infinity, it wasn't outrageous. And I think that there is certainly some things that they can tweak and solve as they head into game number 4. Ultimately, neither of us could be proven correct, because Twisted Minds may very well go on and beat them in spite of a tactical timeout, which, if Infinity do lose this game number 4, then surely they're going to be taking after this.
And the other problem I have with this Relic is that every single time a timeout has been called this regional, the person who called it has lost that match. So no wins to be gained, Maybe a shot being gained right here, but not even close. And once again, that responsibility we spoke about last game, still not being taken. For Pierce, went for a pass instead of a shot.
The lack of quality on the pass was telling as well. It was almost like they were hoping that someone was going to be there in time rather than directing someone to be in a particular position. Lovely demo. That shot was a warning across the bow. Hits the post, should be 1-0. Twisted Minds managed to get through the first minute. Infinity managed to survive it.
SMW passing it over to Senso. Senso, what can you bring yourself this time around? Oh, not too much. Blocked off by Infinity. And finally, the defense of Infinity having some stability, looking a bit more solid this time around. But for how long can you hold on to that? SMW looking for a bump, but Suspect just barely getting past, not getting demoed like Venom, who did get demoed.
Yeah, Vampires went on a journey all the way to the far 100 boost. And on his way back, got a demo, but they've not been punished for it, Twisted Minds. Whenever they move forward, Infinity, it's one at a time now. They really lack the confidence, and rightly so, in their ability to get back and track shots. A strange meeting of two Twisted Mind players there at least gives a bit of a reprieve. A nice demo as well. Suspect loses the race to 2. Infield, but the pass is so weak.
Infinity looking for some control. It is from Pierce, but he doesn't have a lot of boost. Does get it past Senso? No, just barely not being able to get past Senso. And it means that Venom now onto the backboard. Good passing option, but a good touch by Hatem. And the defense from Infinity is holding on strong. But again, I am not confident they can hold on for all too long. So a shot should be in. A shot should be on target, but saved on the goal line. SMW.
Suspect did everything right. He needed whoever the follow-up was to do what this player was doing. Vampires, at least it was on target despite being saved. Twisted Minds being asked more questions. You feel it's a question of when rather than if Twisted Minds scores. Infinity have to get that go-ahead to give themselves a little bit of a confidence boost. It's been a chastising end to their playoff run here, but still, as we approach the 2-minute mark to go, no goals.
And no real offensive prowess, apart from maybe 1 or 2 chances from Infinity. I still feel like they are not playing ultra well in this game, not being able to get into this game. As Pierce does get the clear going forward once again, but no one there to follow it up. No one really there to help him out, as Senso does have a helping hand right there. SMW bringing back forth once again, looking for a bump. Maybe that's a bit of a problem point for Twisted Minds themselves. They're looking for a lot of bumps and demos right now.
They play conservative play from both teams. Twisted Minds knows that this will be a super important point, a point that takes them onto match point. Another couple of teammates fighting each other, this time on the side of Infinity. Opens up a shooting lane, but it was never really going to threaten Infinity, able to sort themselves out in time. 90 seconds left, Spooks, and still no closer. It's deadlock.
W trying to create a goal, an opening in that deadlock, trying to make sure that they can get past and onto that match point, but nothing is sticking. Nothing is good enough so far. Hatem looking to the side once again, looking to find some answers. But where can they find any answers, Relic?
Oh, they can find it here. Demo on the backboard. No one goaltending. And Vampires finally has the breakthrough.
The defensive wall of Twisted Minds has fallen. A demo and a quick shot from the ceiling is all it took. And Infinity finally get back into things, finally take the lead. And with a bit over a minute left in this game, with the way things have been going, it could be the game 4 in their favor.
They've only had 1 game win against this roster. That was when they were previously Infinity versus Boloche. They've got a 2nd game win, but this would certainly be a marked improvement on the overall series scoreline. Hatem around the corner. Oh, what a save from Senso. That goes all the way downfield, and Infinity have to be careful. There are still 40 seconds to navigate. You get the impression that Twisted Minds will have one great opportunity to sum things up here with an equalizer.
They did it against Falcons. They will try to do it here once again, and it has to come from SMW. We saw it before. Senso onto the backboard, easily put away by Suspect, but it's a bit far away from Hatem to get any real control out of. So just a big booming ball going the other way. It's Senso, shot on target. Suspect saving the goal, but the ball drops on down. Can there be a shot on target? No, still safe. The backboard defense of Infinity is holding them alive, is holding them good, and is holding them to the 1-0 lead. No touch coming out from Venom, and the shot, it will be in. Hatem finishing it off, a 2-0 lead in game 4.
Friends, they have now played 8 games today. This is the first clean sheets that they can enjoy. Infinity tie the series up from 1-0 up to 2-1 down. It's now 2-2. And Infinity, much improved, Spooks.
A better Infinity, more defensively sound Infinity. Looking at 4 saves to them and getting more shots in 9 shots on target. All round looking better and better. And on the other hand, Twisted Minds, I think I said it before, I think it felt like they were trying to demo too much, trying to get those bumps a bit too often, which led to, a lot of the times, Infinity just dodging them and nothing being done with the second man.
They had the quality to undo Infinity on their own merit. I agree with you entirely. It was almost like they were trying too hard, and then when they realized that strategy wasn't working, the adaptation was, well, let's just go a little bit more defensive because we don't want to lose. And great credit to the Infinity players. After what has been a day where their defense has been criticized and embarrassed time and time again, they were the ones who actually had the confidence to go forward, to try and press a little more. They found the demos that they were looking for. You know, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. And taking out Senzo on the backboard, that's a free shot. And thank goodness they got it on target, because that was ultimately the game-winning goal.
Maybe not calling a timeout for Infinity was the right call to do it, but
maybe.
On the other end, Twisted Minds is calling a timeout, and I'm actually surprised by this, but maybe they did not like being able to not get any real opportunities on net, not really getting anything sustainable.
Well, I tell you what, it makes a lot more sense to me, Twisted Minds calling the timeout now, because in terms of like the confidence scales, it's now shifted back in favor of Infinity, and they don't want to allow Infinity to start to steamroll, to get on, you know, a bit of a confidence train and to move into a match point scenario themselves. So it's good to sort of break up the series now, even if it's not necessarily the end of the world, tactically speaking, for Twisted Minds. I think it was an off game. They've just given themselves more time to figure out what did go wrong and ultimately make Infinity sit on it, go a little bit cold. We'll see whether Game 5 brings any more surprises.
Do less demos, I think, is probably the best call I can give you to Twisted Minds. Stop going for them as much as you have been. Start doing maybe a couple more infield passes. Things you saw doing well against Falcons was just that they were so incredibly strong when they were trying to set up each other instead of trying to go for demos and stuff like that. And that's what I want to see more out of Twisted Minds. But if they will do that, only a Game 5 will tell us, Relic.
It's exactly what Rule 1 did. They didn't have to rely on demos. They just played well, and Infinity undid themselves with double commits and by stretching themselves too thin. Game number 5, Utopia Coliseum. Will it be thumbs down for Infinity, or will it be thumbs up to potentially a Game 7 potential? I don't think after the 2 series that we've seen today that anyone would have expected that, and as if on cue, by the way, double commit already coming out from Infinity, unforced as well. If that isn't a sign to Twisted Minds, I don't know what will be.
Minds looking for a pass into the middle, looking for a good shot opportunity right on there, but not being able to get it themselves this time around. Senzo, the ball bounces up into the middle for Pierce, just a bit of a giveaway right there. Didn't want anything to do with it, and Zero's boost in his tank meant that he couldn't do anything with it as well. This time around, the 50 still going in favor of Twisted Minds. 2 people jumped for that. Maybe a couple of nerves coming through for Twisted Minds, but almost a shot breaking through a suspect. The man whose defense we have talked about being shaky a lot of times, holding them strong in this Game 5.
Clutch King, how about that for a save off the line? Hatem back to Vampires, picks up the 100 Hatem, and on his bike he goes. Suspect versus Venom. Gets to the backboard, a bit of a shadow play there. Falls kindly to Vampires at least, remains in blue possession. Infield, but all of his teammates have rotated out, just looking to buy time. Steals 100 on the way out, bumps Venom, Suspect. Waiting and avoids the bump, and SMW, that's going wide.
And Senzo couldn't steal the boost, so that means that Infinity is able to get the counterattack going, but instantaneously blocked off by Twisted Minds, not letting them, not allowing them even a whiff of the offensive half. As this ball, nothing can be done with it because you get demoed, you get put away right away, and here as well, there's gonna be no third man jumping for that. He has to jump for this ball.
Hatem snuffs it. Suspect underneath SMW. Vampire Suspect. Oh, that's gorgeous. Best goal of Infinity's day.
And this is what we wanted out of Infinity, and they really do look just like a way different team. They finally look to have a bit of consistency to their name are being able to hold out on defense, and their offense has always been a good thing.
We've seen some excellent shot accuracy, but it's about the team play for me that impresses me the most. Oh, almost 1-1 though, as Twisted Minds knock on the door once more. Everybody at home though, the lights are on. Vampires downfield, Hatton unable to hook onto this one. Suspect now moves forward with purpose, loses it. Vampires crosses paths with Venom through the middle, through Hatton and Senzo up. SMW to follow. Suspect lurking and gets a piece of it.
We see once again Venom trying to set himself up. Hatton going high, looking for another one, but no boost to his name. Means he can't do much with this. SMW, I mean. Getting one touch, but not enough of those touches. And that's the problem that we've seen quite a lot from Twisted Minds. One touch is good, second touch, too far away.
It's already going to be a record-breaking day in one sense. There's only been one grand final in MENA this season, which has not been Falcons versus Rule 1/KRN. That was back in the Fall Cup, and funnily enough, it did include Twisted Minds, just not this particular Twisted Minds roster. It would be the second appearance for the org, however. That said, there is a variable for Infinity, which we have to recall. Infinity got absolutely embarrassed. It was shambolic against Rule 1. The revenge is a dish best served cold and with intent, and that is certainly on the plate if they are able to put Twisted Minds away.
Well, cold is not in the dictionary for Infinity right now, as they're playing quite hot and ready, knowing what to do as Suspect. Going high once again, looking for the solo play. Gets it past. No one really, as SMW and Venom work together to get that ball away. Venom, pass it to the middle, is in the lookout, but Suspect once again blocking him off. Suspect has been the one that has made the biggest change for Infinity this game and last game as well. He's been solidified, he's been playing good, he's been getting better touches time and time again, and he has to be the one you have to look out for.
And I think Vampires defensively as well. I think he's taken responsibility, and he's taken the game to Twisted Minds, box to box 2-0.
And the curse of taking an overtime and losing it after you've done it is still here, because a 2-0 lead. We have not seen Twisted Minds being able to bounce back in these games. Not at all. So it's going to be incredibly tough for them to do it this time around, but it is a must. You do not want to go again into a fourth Game 7 if you even want to take a win. But even then, you do not want to give Infinity the chance to take this in Game 6.
Infinity, huge respect. You can throw shade on them all you like, but this has been an impressive series, not necessarily in the quality of their performance, but in how the quality has increased so vastly. Every moment that Twisted Minds try to escape here, there's always a car ready to harry them. The perfect pass is not an option. The lane is closed. The perfect shot opportunity, non-existent as things stand. Infinity heading on to match point as things stand.
Has to go back, has to find control, but control is not found when you're demoed. Hatton trying to bring it back forth once again, but it's Venom looking to go through the sides. Into the corner we go. But what else can you do? 10 seconds left on the clock. Ball dropped down low. It was a good attempt at least, but SMW more than an attempt. It will not be called as the ball drops on down. Game 5 going in favor of Infinity, looking to end it all after this one.
Like London buses, it's not just about the one that you wait for. Two will always appear at the same time. Back-to-back clean sheets, back-to-back 2-0 victories. And Twisted Minds for the second consecutive game, unable to breach the 5-shot barrier. Infinity, not exactly a prolific day for themselves. Only 7 shots on target, but that shot accuracy, the shot percentiles that we were hyping up as the day started, it's finally back. This is the Infinity that we saw on day 1 and day 2.
You're a smart man, Relic.
I try.
I'm gonna ask you, what does Twisted Minds do differently here? What can they do differently? Because I feel like there's something missing. What is it?
You know, it almost feels like they're not playing naturally. It feels like everything that they're trying to do in transitioning through the midfield and in trying to break... That's the thing. They're trying to break open the Infinity defense. No other team has had a problem, Twisted Minds included, in games 1, 2, and 3. And yet somehow, when the going gets tough, / when the pressure is on, when they know that there's a grand finals appearance at stake, they've frozen. They've frozen up. They're stiff, and I just like to see a little bit more individual flair. Almost, don't think about what you're going to do 2 steps ahead of time. Just do, and the rest will fall into place.
I said it earlier. What I want to see for Twisted Minds is just shoot. Just shoot every so often against Infinity. Maybe a pass into a straight shot, but that is gonna get you results against Infinity's whose defense, yes, it has been solidified a tiny bit, but it's still not the most solid we've ever seen. So a quick shot like that could open up space or even get a goal because of a mistake. But it seems like Twisted Minds maybe wants to do too much.
Well, it was here on Neo Tokyo just 40 minutes ago where Falcons were shown a sword that would eventually plunge into their hearts through a Game 7, forced by the team in orange. Are they going to be able to do it again? Or will Infinity indeed go beyond and hit that grand final for themselves? A revenge tour against Rule 1. Well, Vampires looking to open up the scoring. Tees up Suspect, hits the backboard again. It's another double commit from Twisted Minds. Infinity shooting like they mean it, Spooks.
Brutal wording coming out from Relic, but it seems the sword that we saw against Falcons has hit some chainmail and is not able to get past it. And the chainmail is from Infinity. The armor holding on strong. Senzo trying to break through this time around with a slash, but the slash has to go back. Maybe something else has to work.
Both teams poking, both teams jousting. That's a stride, that's a good attempt. It goes high, SMW finds its way into the middle again. Venom too far forward, too eager to pick up whatever might be the remnants of a play or a misplay rather for the defense. Oh, Suspect, that's a little too light. Commits the higher defense right down the other end. Senzo versus Suspect, and Suspect's taken out, but the ball is not going to get to the net. Not enough Welly.
Too slow for this phase. And you knew it the second we saw 3 people going forward. We both knew it that yes, that was the chance for Twisted Minds. That was what they were looking for, but no speed behind it, no power behind it, as Suspect is trying to create some power this time around, but a demo does open up some space for Twisted Minds. They're finally connecting to the demos, they're finally connecting to the shots, but Suspect is connecting to the saves.
Saying earlier it's about the quality, not the quantity, and the quality of saves coming out from Infinity now continually increasing. Atom on hand, but Twisted Minds ratcheting up the pressure. Sidewall, crossfield. Suspect hoping that Vampires will get there first. He does. Suspect not going to go for this one. Senzo up high and there first to Venom. Waits. SMW. Slow, pondering, but there wasn't really much other choice. He was always going to meet an Infinity defender. Throws it back in again. And once again, this Infinity defense deals with it.
Suspect to go through the middle, but blocked off by SMW, who then again in return gets blocked off by Infinity, not allowing a counterattack being created. But a counterattack could be what's lying in wait. Suspect taking it high, looking for a second chance, but the second chance taken away by SMW. Demo on the line, means that now Venom, what can you do? Goes high, it's into the middle, it's right in front of Senzo, but he goes way too quick and not being able to control this ball, and the bounce not read well by Twisted Minds.
No one willing to claim the coupon. It remains 0-0. And Infinity gets away with one again. Twisted Minds now on the defense. It's Suspect, runs out of boost at the wrong time. Fortuitous bump on Hatem. It's 2-man offense. Vampires in there immediately. Senzo brute forcing his way through the midfield. SMW doesn't get that second touch. A good idea. It's just not the execution that we could have expected against the Falcons, say. SMW on target. How about that? Another save, this time from Suspect.
The goal line defense holding them alive, holding them strong. And we did see this before in Infinity. We did see them do this exact thing. Holding on for so long, and then eventually they got one breakout goal. Are we gonna see a repeat of history, or is it going to be changed? Because let's all remember, history is written by the victors, and who will take the victory here?
So get to that final third, they do all right in sustaining the pressure. They just don't have that spearhead to get the ball into the back of the net, most crucially. Rotation quite wide as well, so they've spread quite a decent safety net here. Although that said, Suspect's not a free net. Venom was charging him down. But every moment that Infinity walk forward, they do so with a game plan. It's impressive to see, but they got 30 seconds to try and get that breakaway goal, to try and win the series, Spooks.
Senzo ran out of boost right there, but SMW, what can you do? Gives it away to his teammate. Venom had the shot, but the save was there as well. And once again, Senzo goes high, looks for the backboard, but easily read by Vampires. No one really on Twisted Minds was even going for it at all, as this ball ends up in a bit of a no man's land. One final chance is lying in wait. SMW has control. What can you do by yourself? Drops it straight into the middle. It's an arc of precision coming out for Infinity, but the ball drops on down. Gave it a second longer, Twisted Minds would have won.
Yeah, the order across the board for Infinity in that final 30 seconds was don't lose. Really, don't lose. There were 2 players in net at a time. They were determined to take it to overtime, and so here we are. Golden goal for series victory or game 7. I know which one I want. I certainly know which outcome both of these teams want. Who wants it more, Spooks?
Mind Reader Relic knows what people want, but what will happen? We have to wait and see as Vampires hits this ball on high. Senzo trying to go through the middle. It's blocked off by Suspect. Onto the backboard we go, but Venom once again blocking it off. Hatem looking for a pass into the middle, but once again blocked off. It's Suspect not getting anything out of this, and this could be dangerous. It's into the middle, but Vampires quicker than anyone else because no one else jumps for it.
Every choice, every decision is going to have an impact. Do you waylay the mid boost? Do you go for the ball? Do you pick up the boost for a turnaround play? There's a demo infield, 2v3, but not the connection Senzo was looking for. Venom, neither him. The quality, the talent escaping Twisted Minds at a crucial moment in this game, in this series, in the story of the MENA Spring Open for 22-23. Vampires through the first line of defense, but he's got no resources to do anything more.
We have seen Falcons falter, and we know that both these teams know then that a final could be in their grasp. That is in their grasp. One more game for one team, 2 more for the other. We've seen both of them do it before, but not being able to do it right now as Venom. Ball into the middle, touch from Atem, but not what you probably would have liked, but it's into the middle, passed out from Suspect. If that hit Suspect once again, that would have been the most insane goal, but instead, we continue with this overtime.
Senzo and Venom continually, it's like a tight rotation in the offensive third, except it's in the final third. Oh, but never mind! Doesn't matter how tight your rotations are, because Hatem's found the way through!
There was one small mistake. Senzo backflipping through it. SMW thought he had it in control. But no, Hatem takes it away and gets their chance to get a revenge against Rule 1.
What a redemption arc for Infinity. Didn't even need Game 7. Look at the save counters, folks. An incredible 14 put up. And look how even it is. Responsibility really was the key word here. Every single player stepped up to the mark in a big way. Yes, Infinity got let off the hook a number of times. Let us not forget that. Rule 1 absolutely still the favorites going forward into this grand finals, but Infinity have given fans and us the encouragement to suggest that it is not simply going to be a 4-0 sweep all over again.
No, they definitely have the pieces to build a good house right now, but if it's going to be stormed on down by Rule 1, we'll have to wait until this small break to see what happens next. We'll see you soon.